You know what's really awkward? Calling strangers on the phone and having to ask them for stuff. And yet, as an adult, we have to do this like all the time, whether it be for doctor's appointments or insurance or setting stuff up or work acquaintance calls or whatever it is. We have to make phone calls like all the time, and it's the worst. And for some people, it's not only awkward, it's anxiety inducing. So today I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to make phone calls like an adult. Number 1, plan. Personally, I'm more comfortable writing than talking, so I like to write things down that I need to say during the call. You can also work through a couple simple scenarios before making the call, like, will they ask you for insurance information? Make sure you have that ready. Or what if they say, we can't get you in for an appointment for 2 months? Will you say, okay, that's fine, or say, all right, I'll call a different doctor? Just think of some stuff that might happen during the call. Don't get too caught up in this section though. Just like go through a couple things so that you're not too nervous if they come up. But don't go through so many things that you get nervous about making the call. Get a notepad and paper to write stuff down during the call, because sometimes you might be too anxious to really remember what was said. Number 2, know how to start the call. So if the person you're calling asks how you're doing, you can say, fine, how are you? But generally speaking, you're not expected to ask how someone's doing on a phone call. You can just skip straight to whatever it is you need. Generally, I start my phone calls with, hi, my name is, and I got your info from, and I need, can you help me out? Giving them your name right off the bat lets them look you up in their system if they have to do that, or it just gives them something to call you for the rest of the call. If you got their info from the internet or the phone book or whatever, you don't have to tell them that. But a lot of adult phone calls are like, my friend referred me to you, or my insurance company told me to call this number. And these are just different variations of, I got your info from, and right after that, tell them what you need. Don't beat around the bush. They probably want to be done with this phone call just as quickly as you do. And make sure you're talking to the right person before moving forward. I've gone on and on about something on the phone to someone only to learn that that's not even the person I should be talking to. My cat's been healthy all this time, but then suddenly she's just like, blah, you know, and I'm not sure if this is the right thing. Oh, let me tell you my insurance information. And what's that? Thank you for your time. And from here, generally the person you're calling is going to lead the conversation and ask you questions and stuff. Which leads us to our next part, dealing with questions. Because of the uncertainty about what's going to happen during this part of the phone call, a lot of people freeze and they just don't know how to move forward. But the first thing to know is that it's okay not to know the answers to questions. It's okay not to know what questions are going to be asked. And it's okay if you just need to take a moment to either remember the answer or look it up somewhere. Trust me, the person on the other side of the phone isn't going to mind a few seconds of silence to update their spreadsheet or write down a note. They're okay with it. And always ask for clarification on things that you just don't get. 90% of adulting is like asking people to explain stuff. Honestly, I used to think adults knew everything, but shocker, they don't. Or should I say, we don't. And finally, concluding a call. As you're getting information over the phone, make sure to write it down and repeat it back to the person giving it to you. And if you missed anything, ask them to repeat it. And then always end the call with, thanks for your time, or thanks for the info, and a little, have a good day. And it's okay if you hang up first. You're not dating them. Probably. And that's it. Simple enough, hopefully easy to remember. Comment on what your most awkward phone conversation was, subscribe for more adulting advice, and like this video if you found it helpful. Stay classy, y'all.